Okay, hello everybody. Let me look back here. Yeah, things are looking right. Okay, cool. So, of course, the standard, everyone hear me okay, all that. Anyone actually in chat? Just kind of hanging out. I've got, my next doctor's visit today, but I think that will be the last one for a couple weeks, I'm hoping. And so we can start getting kind of more normal and getting back to full time on this stuff. Yeah, that's kind of where we are. I am going to just kind of play some Minecraft while we chat. If chat has any questions, things they want to talk about, all that fun stuff, I'm going to switch over to that screen now. There we are. So the doctor's visits. All right, yeah, totally. For the most part, the doctor's visits are going okay. I am basically going in for checkups related to how sick I was for a year there. And all of my checkups but one have been pretty much exactly what you would hope for, telling me that the medicines are working, that everything's going the way I want it to go. My appointment 2 days ago with the ear, nose, and throat doctor went not how I wanted it to go, but not horrible either. Hi everyone. Yes. So, that is odd. Okay. So the ear, nose, and throat doctor. I have a deviated septum. You can't I don't have any of the outwardly visible stuff that makes it look like that because I wasn't born with one. In my car accident when I was 19 and I, landed in the back seat of the car that was in front of me, the first thing that happened was my face goes smash right into the steering wheel, and that bent everything inside of here. I think they did a good job of bringing it all back to normal there, but inside my septum, in between my two nostrils, there is an S shape, and so in this S shape, during all of the medications, the sickness, the everything related to the COVID, the post-COVID, somehow all of that led to two polyps being formed, and they're right in the pockets of the S. So they're cutting off all of my breathing and adding to snoring that is also brand new. And polyps in your nose, doctor says, aren't precancerous like they would be on a colon checkup or on a stomach checkup. So that's good. So I'm just, cool on that. But they've put me on amoxicillin in the hopes that maybe it'll kill off most of, what's causing the polyps before any idea of surgery. So for 14 days, we're going to try the amoxicillin, see if it gets me breathing right through my nose again. If not, I'm going to need surgery to just, fix the deviated septum and, deal with it that way. I've had it since I was 19, 46. So I've had it for a long time. The deviated septum hasn't ever given me problems until this. So that's one piece of it. The second piece was, of course, talking about the fact that I snore now, which I didn't before. And it's loud enough that my wife sometimes leaves the room at night. This is all new and related to everything that's happened. My doctor has told me that it is because I've put on 30 pounds and I put it on in all the wrong places because I was laying in beds and knocked out and half in a coma for weeks on end. And so all of it is, right here, right at the top of my chest. And I need to lose about 25, 30 pounds before they'll think anything else is the cause. They went looking and they tell me basically they think I need to lose that weight. They don't mind if I put it somewhere else, go my arms, my legs, anywhere else, just not where it is, in kind of the center of my abdomen there. So I'm now starting to do something I've never done before, which is look at calories. That is not a thing I've ever had to do before. So I'm learning the difference between the types of things delivering my calories and whether, I'm getting enough of one thing or the other, and how many I should take in a day to still feel okay versus how many my morning workouts are, getting off and all that fun stuff. Just trying to figure all that out for the next week. Playing around with it a little. I've got my whole morning and lunch, including my pre-workout and post-workout mixes, down to 755 calories. And yeah, all the macronutrient stuff. Talking with my wife there, she's much smarter when it comes to that specific thing. So I was going for hard calorie count, like, hey, I've got it to 755 all the way through lunch, and I feel okay. And I'm working off over 1,000 in my workout, so I'm doing good, right? And then she went looking and said, you sure are heavy on this one thing, and you have none of this other thing, and so you might be getting calories, but you're missing out on things you need. So she helped me kind of rework that, and I think I'm between 750, 800 for all the way through lunchtime. Coming up on dinner is going to be hard. None of the hot food I like is nice about the calories or delivering things I should have. So we're working out all that. I'm going to come up with a diet that I can live with, and the idea is, of course, to be, calorie neutral. The idea is, or negative. I want to be taking in, less than 1,800 in a day and working off more than that. So beyond my normal working morning workouts and all the other fun stuff. Hey, thanks, Alpha there. Yeah, I'm really glad the things are coming together here. Beyond all that, I have a treadmill coming. It's weird because they call them walking pads if they're really slow and kind of smaller and I guess cheaper too. So I've got a walking pad coming, like maxes out at 3 miles an hour and all that. That's going to go under the standing desk over there. That's right next to me. And that's going to be also where Max sits during, our streams, but it's going to go there for normal days, and I'll be able to stand at the standing desk while actually walking on the walking pad and hopefully working off a lot more of, what I need to work off and, just continuing to get more fit. It's probably going to be, up from the, I want to say 2.5 to 3 hours I do every morning, more like 5 or 6 hours of actual workout and exercise I'm going to need during the day just to get back to close to normal where I was. But things are coming together. Devices exist. I've got some technological solutions like the walking pad, like the exercise bike, the rowing machine, all that type of stuff. Luckily, all that stuff is unbelievably cheap these days. And I've got good doctors. I actually have insurance finally, so that's helping a hell of a lot because I wouldn't have all these visits without it because I can't afford shit. It is definitely a thing. So that's kind of the update. I'll know in about, I want to say 12 days, whether the amoxicillin's a thing or whether I need surgery on my deviated septum. I'm not scared of surgeries. They don't really bother me too much as long as they're, not deep into my abdomen, my chest, in these areas because, or the one in my neck, that one kind of sucked too. Because of my blood type and all the other things about not being able to take transfusions and everything, being in surgery is kind of a little scarier for me than normal. But if they're just working on my nose, not the worst of, issues there, I don't think. So nothing to be too fearful of. The bike is a standing bike. I used to ride a whole lot before all of this hit. So I have a really nice Trek that's downstairs that I would love to go out and ride for another 40, 50 miles a day on like I used to be able to. Now I get 2 miles in and I'm feeling it. So I just, I don't really ride it much anymore because none of the stuff I would want to ride to is within 2 miles of me. So here I've got, just your standard, stand-up bike, full size. It's got a tray on it so I can, have my laptop in front of me while I'm riding so I can get distracted and I ride a lot longer because I'm not thinking of the minutes. The rowing machine is obviously flat and on the floor and all that. But it all works out pretty well. So that's kind of the update on the doctor's visits. Not too much else going on. The first thing I heard when he said there were polyps, all I ever knew of polyps was those are precancerous. But so I, jump scare there, right? But he said, no, where they are and what they are, these are the other kind of polyps. They are not precancerous. Don't worry about it. They're just making it where you can't breathe. So yeah, good stuff. on the other front, on the front of Mac actually joining the stream, we had a good conversation last week, and it looks like it could be next week that he's available to start coming back, so we can start getting back to our regular streams then. As for the machine I've got him kind of set up with over there, it's at my standing desk, but I've got chairs that are big enough to sit at it so he doesn't have to stand the whole time, that are sitting literally right next to it so he can just slide it over. It's got a good microphone. The microphone is wired all the way across the ceiling and all the way down and hidden pretty well into the mixer now, and works well. It's a 40-foot cable to get it over here. So that's a thing. The thing that we're missing over there that we need to find this week or next is a good camera. And again, I'm going to need a 40-foot USB-C to USB-A or USB-C to USB-C cable that'll do a good job on that. And finding those at any kind of a decent price that'll carry a strong signal across that, like a camera signal, I'm finding like the cheaper cables are in the $120 range. For that length and the quality I want it to be, so it'll deliver the full signal. So that'll be something that's probably a next week thing. As you all know, I have no money. But so the camera and the wire for it are all that's left to get him up and running and get him in the show here. And then, of course, his availability, which, again, I'll be talking to him again tomorrow night. For all I know, he's ready for like a Thursday night stream or something this week. But expect him next week. And expect us to really start diving back into the news and all the other stuff we used to do then. Yeah. What else does chat want to talk about? As I have my Minecraft up here on the stream. Let's see. What do I need? I think I already have everything I need over at the other site. Except for this. I am going to need a bunch of these, and I like them to just be the same color. There we go. Yeah, I figured, we could just play this because I've got a thing I want to do anyways, while we talk about other stuff. And yeah, the caves are only getting more. The new update that they announced yesterday has a lot more stuff to go on in the caves. These things called trials, where there's like all these new structures that are made out of a lot of copper and new copper pieces that have like new types of spawners and things like that. So the caves are only getting better. Plus, they added a whole lot more diamonds in the cave. So if I fly out right now to a new area that I haven't been to yet and go to a cave, it's just like 3x the diamonds you're used to finding. So anyone want to talk about anything else? There's nothing else going on in the news these days. Ah, yes, the automated crafting tables. That is... yeah, look at this beast that we're coming up on here. So I have auto crafters actually in use on here that are the exact same design as what they have in the new build. And I've been thinking, they really need to add exactly this mechanic in. So like if we go here, I'll do a little cheaty thing here. We'll go over to the iron farm actually. If we go to my iron farm and we go down in it, you can see where the auto crafters are in use, and it hopefully these types of things will give people with the new tool ideas on how you might use it. One of the things you do with an iron farm, and here is my giant iron farm, and you can just see all the golems falling into the lava, is you get all of these iron bars, all these ingots, and you have to convert them into blocks of iron to compact your storage and all that and have it fit. You'll notice all of mine are already blocks because this is actually an auto crafter, and when the iron comes in, once it fills it up, it turns it into the block and drops it out into the hopper below. As you can see, some iron golems are dying above me, and it's doing it now. It'll show all the other things it could build, but it won't drop until the signal strength says it's all the way full, and then it'll make the block. This is the kind of thing I use it for. I make my farms do a better job. Like there went an iron block. So you can consider like this, the melon farms, the raid farm that does a lot of redstone and emeralds. Those need to go into blocks. So the auto crafting is kind of cool. I really like the idea of that, and I'm glad they're bringing it in because I think I have a total of maybe 30 of those in use around my world. And I try not to do too many things that aren't vanilla friendly, but that one had to be coming. Like we've been asking for that one for 10 years, so. Yes, well said. Exactly. I have been asked a few times about my opinion on the current Israel situation, and whew, how quickly do people want me canceled? No. Um, I've always been on the side of a free Palestinian state. I've always wanted that to be where we end up. I do understand that there are a bunch of Jewish people who also need a place to live. And I get that they have all these religious reasons for both of them wanting it to be there. Now, I call myself a devout atheist, but, my wife calls me an anti-theist. I am very against the idea of religion even existing. I think it's been bad for humanity from the beginning, and I wish no one had ever had the thought. Like religion itself and spirituality, I both think are not good. So that really does kind of, set up my opinion here as a bit different. I'm a big science guy. Give me, evolution, natural selection, and all that other fun stuff. And I'm a happy camper. I don't believe in any of the other things. There's no afterlife. We're random. We're lucky to have what we have. That's basically how I see it. So I'm not here for any of the religious arguments, and I don't really care for any of that. What I'm here for is the human arguments. These people should not be suffering. So right off the bat, I am not a fan of Zionists. I do not believe in their mission. I do not believe in the ways they talk about wanting to, extend that mission and or finish it. I do not believe in the way in which they specifically and on video and tape in the last week alone have been caught many times calling the Palestinians animals. So right there, that's a good starting point. Do not agree with how Hamas did what they did, not only from a humanitarian standpoint, from the terroristic kind of point, but, you look at it as the human cost. A lot of children died during all of this on both sides. And so right there, what Hamas did is absolutely wrong. You can think of it wrong because you like humans. You can think of it wrong because tactically it was wrong. They're going to get obliterated. The only choice they left a Zionist-controlled Israel to do is to do what they're doing now. It's as if this is the outcome they wanted, thinking they could somehow make Israel look so bad by their response that the world would step up. But I think we've learned that the world's not going to step up and support the Palestinians. That's just not going to happen. They're going to continue to send military aid to Israel. So that leaves us in a bind, right? That leaves us just in a space where these people are stuck. They are in, as it is called, the largest open air prison that exists. They are fighting back in the only ways they seem to be able to. Sure, there are people supporting them that are supporting them out of anti-Semitic reasons. There are Iranian backers who are sending in specific military supplies, not because they care about the Palestinian people or their plight, but because they would like to see them kill more Jews. So there is backing behind some of this that, can be looked at as bad and can be thought of as, the thing that the Israelis should be railing against. But it's tough. It's really tough because you want to support the Palestinians. You want to, support their right to exist. You want to support them having land and having their own space. And at the same time, you don't want to support some of the actions that Hamas took. On the other side, you think about Hamas's actions from a tactical standpoint. And I mean, what was this going to accomplish? This was going to make a big splash. It was going to put the Palestinians back in the limelight, make everyone think about them again. But it wasn't going to make them think positively about them. It instead was going to make them kind of agree with what Israel's doing. And you'll see that in everyone putting out their statements of support, from colleges to celebrities, that the Palestinians might have even lost some support on this one. And I don't agree with that just tactically, let alone for the humanitarian cost of it, for the deaths, for the pain. If you're just thinking strategically here, this was a blunder. This was not a good move. Then you get to talk about, well, what is a good move when you are freedom fighters, when your electricity, food, and water are controlled by your enemy, who are settling on your land, who are destroying your ability to have food, who are taking over your farms, who are doing everything they can to dehumanize you. That also is tough. Do I believe every Israeli citizen is doing that or backs that? No. I believe that if you look at the election numbers, a lot of the more hardline Zionist types, like Netanyahu, they don't get 100% of the vote. You look at the votes, and they aren't getting the full vote. There are people there who do believe in a two-state issue solution. It doesn't look like they're the majority, though, because the people who want to dehumanize the Palestinians and continue to settle their land and continue to make it okay to treat them like animals are still in power and are still, getting elected in each time. That makes this so complicated. How are you supposed to solve this one? I don't know that we as humans have it in us to solve this. My faith in humanity has, suffered over the years, and I don't see how we solve this one in any way that's, sane. The Palestinians don't want to give up their land. The other Arab countries don't want to take them all in as refugees and resettle them. So those options seem to be off the table. The Jewish people want to continue, at least the Zionists want to continue settling more and more of the land that was the Palestinians. We've seen videos all over going viral on TikTok and YouTube and everywhere else, social media, that show a specific settler who is just a New Yorker taking a house from one of the Palestinians and arguing with them over whether they should have it or not. And his argument was, well, the owner of the house told me to move in, and so I'm doing it. And when asked deeper, he was quoted as saying, and then I saw a video today of him saying it, that we want to make sure there's more Jewish people in this neighborhood. So if we ever get to a peace negotiation in which we do a two-state thing, this neighborhood isn't on the table for them, it's on the table for us, because we're the majority in this area. And that's kind of giving up one of the ways in which the settlers are going to be used in any negotiation. They're trying to make themselves the majority in certain neighborhoods, the neighborhoods closer to food, closer to water, closer to the border. So when the possible, I think fictitious, idea of a two-state, peace deal starts to be talked about in some fairy tale future, they get to keep those neighborhoods. And that was literally his argument. He says it live. I'm not going to play any of that horrible video. I'm just going to sit here playing some Minecraft right now, because what else are we going to do at this point? I would love, anyone in chat to respond to any of that. Absolutely, Alpha. Yeah. And again, just so I can remind people, whenever I look over there, it's because I'm looking at the Twitch chat. That's the window it's in. I hate the way these things go up. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So before I start doing this, let's go a little lighthearted. This thing is getting destroyed. Down here, I have all of my flower farms. These things all make all the variations of automated, flour systems. So I get all the various flours and what comes from them. These require bone meal. This was a bone meal farm that was bone meal positive, meaning I could just flip a switch and slowly bone meal would come out here and fill up all the farms down there. I messed up somewhere. I don't know where in this design I messed up, but turning it on and having it run now does not accomplish what I want. You'll notice I turn it on, and you see all kinds of stuff happening. You can see all the particles coming down. But when you start to see the bone meal come out here, which you'll see some. Here comes some, right? There it goes. It's going up, and then it's cycling around down this one, and then back this one. So all the way down to the other end down there. And it's filling up this machine with more, but not enough that any spare ever goes here. Because as you can see, I broke shit. And not all of these are working. Like this one right here is not doing anything. There's like 10 of these that literally are broken. They somehow just absolutely broke in a way that's just unsavable. So I can't debug why one or two of them are broken. I think it's down to some blocks I used. Like this one's totally fried. So is that one and that one. So I'm just going to destroy the entire thing and rebuild from scratch because that'll be far easier for me. So if anyone wonders why I'm taking down this giant machine, there you go. That's why. Now back to the topic at hand. Yeah, distraught is the right word. I mean, there's no version of this in which I think politically or just as humans, we end up somewhere where we're happy. Sure. And I mean, yeah, Portia, absolutely. But I remember being as old as I am, the Oslo talks and Arafat and all the others. Just I remember all the times these talks have been had, and I remember no matter what the talks agreed to, things would happen. Another Palestinian child would die at the hands of the security forces of Israel. And maybe their death was accidental at the moment, but the situation that put them there where they could end up dead was definitely down to Israeli aggression, Israeli settling, Israeli disruption of crops. I mean, 100 reasons why the Palestinians were mad and these moments happened. And that would lead to the Palestinians doing something and then the Israelis doing something. And slowly you end up where that deal they made before has no meaning and is out the door. So the question is, if they make another deal sometime in the future after all of this, when this finally settles down and we get somewhere slightly more peaceful, and maybe it's because Israel thinks that they finally killed off Hamas, who knows, will we believe in any peace deal? Where the people on the ground believe in any peace deal? Have the people in Israel been fed so much propaganda by the Zionists that they majority believe it or not? These things are important to understand. Yeah, and again, you want to talk about who's the victim. Well, sure, there are victims on both sides of this. Absolutely. This is one of the few times you'll ever hear me say both sides. But you've got to look at root causes to solve any of this. And, in talks with any of my friends, my Jewish friends, my far lefty friends who all, of course are, support Palestine at no, and they're giving the arguments of this is freedom fighting, and under international law, I believe it's 242 is the code they are all quoting. You have the system where freedom fighting at this point is absolutely allowed, should be allowed, and there are no restrictions on what types of violence they can use to retaliate in order to hopefully, save themselves. Where is this guy? Nothing I need. Yeah, I mean, again, what if we get any kind of a solution here that involves a treaty? Do we believe the people on the ground will actually adhere to the treaty? I don't care if that is the cops we are talking about, if that is the IDF, is that any other security forces. I don't care who you're talking about. I don't care if it's the Palestinians. It doesn't matter who you're talking about. Will the people on the ground actually live by the agreement given? And I got to say, there's enough outside forces even that make that near impossible. Like, look at the support that Iran gives for any of what Hamas does. And, by proxy through Iran, Russia, right? So will they continue to keep doing things that, only exacerbate the issue, even if there is an agreement? And will they do whatever it takes to make sure an agreement doesn't happen? I mean, it's almost as if the timing was planned as Israel moves to the right and some more, hardliners like Netanyahu and all the others get their power back. The other actors, like Iran and other, countries in this fight, could have been propping it up. One thing to remember is the average age of these people in Gaza looks to be 18. And so you've got to assume that if you've got an average age of 18, you've got very few older, more seasoned people to argue points. And you've got a lot of young people being fed propaganda from the other people who are trying to support this. Like, again, the other countries, the Irans, how good were you at fighting off that kind of propaganda from a nation state when you were being mistreated and you were in a giant open air prison at 18? So it's really tough to think what the people who did this were thinking, what at their ages, at their experience levels, and at the amount of control they're under from all these other forces. Just who knows, right? I mean, we can't know those things. And that makes it harder to make strong judgment calls here on what happened, other than, indiscriminate killing of just outright civilians is an absolute problem and should not be done. It is horrific. Yeah, absolutely. I have no idea how much of this dirt I'm going to need. Might as well just take a lot of it, right? So I mean, yeah. I mean, look at the environment they're in. Look at the people they're surrounded by. Look at the people with vested interests in them actually, doing things a certain way. I mean, there's a lot of reasons this happened that are unrelated to the conflict itself. When you look at the other nation states, so it's just, I have no idea, man. I am not smart enough for this one. What I do know is I want there to be an independent Palestinian state. And yes, I've seen all the right-wingers who talk about the fact that there never was a Palestine, that the Palestinian people don't exist, and all that fun stuff. And sure, the maps tell funny stories, but in the end, let's ignore these fictitious lines that people made, all these borders and countries that, we just should not be caring about in any way, and think about the humans involved. There are people now that consider themselves Palestinian, the same as, the first people who went to an island after a while decided to start, thinking of themselves as Irish. Like, there's always a time when those people didn't exist, except for the very beginning and the first, Homo sapiens that actually, appeared, right? So there are Palestinians now, whether you like it or not. Whether anyone posting all those weird new maps and new interpretations of things, it's just there are. So now we have to deal with the fact that they're there. We have to deal with the fact that they do exist, that they have a right to exist, and that they have a right to a home. Thanks for the resub. Look at that, 12 months. Feels weird thanking someone for a resub, during this heavy conversation, right? Like, doesn't everything just feel kind of strange? So first things first, we got to get rid of all this lava. And we can move on to also talking about, the speakership, right? They're putting Jim Jordan up, famous Jim Jordan of ignores, sexual molestation of children, Jim Jordan. That guy, that guy's who they're putting in. Did anyone think they would do any better than that? I didn't. I mean, at least we can say Scalise didn't, get it. Although I don't think it's because anyone cares that he used to compare himself to David Duke. That's definitely not the reason they didn't want him in. Buddy. One thing, these new Phantoms are already, like, better, worse, whatever you want to call it, in this version of it. But in 121, they're going to be even harder. Because, like, flying away and flying around on your Elytra used to be a way to easily avoid them. And now they have said that in 121, they are going to be able to get you through that. And being on your Elytra will not stop them. Could you all just die? Sun's out already. Come on. Yeah, I used to play in a world where I had them disabled, and I mean, for one, that's just stupid. But it also had the problem of I couldn't make some potions because of it, and that's very annoying. Where is there more lava? Down there? Why? Why is there more lava down there? Hey, buddy. What? Fuck you. Oh, dear Lord. This whole thing needs to go. I don't need the light right now, so it can go in there. Yes. So, I see some like snuck down here. Oh. Forgot all about the second layer there. Right, this thing is like optimized to run a lot better. Okay, so can I make it in there? Yay, look at me making it in. All right, everyone. So what else can we talk about? Do you actually think we're going to end up with Jim Jordan? I personally am hoping that we don't. I think that would be seriously problematic for the world if that's how it went. Is it just a water source killing me there? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yay, destroying this whole big thing. Ah, damn it. I did that to myself. Hey, buddy. Yeah, so right now we are just playing around on here. There are all my little Technoblade pigs. Rip. Gotta get rid of all of these water sources. I have a very strained relationship with spirituality and religion. One, I mean, growing up in the Bible Belt definitely got, in the way of how I feel about all of that. But I just can't see a world in which I think religion did better things. I think it has all been bad. I think you can point out the one or two people who might run a soup kitchen who happen to be Christian and do it because their faith told them to, and sure, you can maybe give religion one of those, right? But not for a minute do I think that that's actually, the reality of the situation. I think more harm and damage has been done by religion than good in this world, be it for political control, be it whatever you think they've done, be it the wars fought in their name, be it all of the children molested by church members, and just you name it. I think church itself has been a very negative force in the world. And so then we get into this argument about it, right? So my wife goes to church. So, imagine that, right? She actually goes to church. And here I am with this opinion. It leads to very, I'll call them interesting conversations. And, yay, water source is gone. And where I always land is, I believe religion has done more negative to the world than it has positive. I believe most people in these religions are in it for power. The ones who run it, be it the televangelists, be it the religions that use their religion to support their wars or their claims on land or the different types of activities they might want to do that their religion says is okay. And with that as my starting point, I run into the situation where then, even if your church is not doing any of those bad things, what you end up with is, by simply going to a church, you are normalizing the idea of church. So when kids watch people going to church, it doesn't matter that that might not be their church. It might not be the one that their family goes to. It might not be, maybe their family doesn't, but they see a lot of people going. You're normalizing the idea that it's an okay place to go, thus giving church itself as a structure, as an idea, the right to exist, and expanding it, into the future as, kids believing it's the right thing to do will go because they've been encouraged by the fact that it's normalized. So even though your church isn't doing the bad things, by existing and going to your church, you are empowering all of the churches that are doing the bad things. There's a website that has a list of the 700 and something church officials in the last decade that have been arrested for what they've done to children. And I think it also has a list of over 200 that that are for financial crimes by stealing all the money that's being donated to their churches and buying planes and cars and houses and shit. So, like, I'm of the opinion that even going to church, even if yours isn't bad, is bad because you were empowering the bad ones simply by normalizing the idea that they should still exist. And yet my wife goes to church. So, you know, we've had some arguments. It's gotten heated a few times. I keep the strength of that opinion mostly to myself, around especially her friends and especially her church-going friends, you know. Because in the end, I don't think they're trying to be bad people. I don't think they are trying to reinforce structures of power and control that have existed for so long and hurt so many people. I believe they get something of value, some sort of sense of community and trust and a relationship that they need in their life from it. I just wish we found other ways to provide that exact thing that they obviously need. Because I don't think providing it the way we are currently providing it is a very good thing. I am very negative on that. Yay, I fell. It is slow going taking this thing down, and it will be because I'm not like optimizing in any way. Any other topics people want to talk about? We just talked about some of the big ones, right? Like, holy crap, did we just talk about Israel-Palestine religion? Woo! Somehow I'm still not canceled yet. Let's go. Definitely having a lot of thoughts about how to kind of run the stream in the future as it gets back to normal, as my days become more regular, as they aren't interrupted and my weeks aren't interrupted by all sorts of, other things like the doctor's visits and everything else. And one thing that is occurring to me that I think very strongly is I'm going to need some help coming up with my stream ideas, things I'm going to be doing. Just, because streams are going to get, political, and they're going to be this, and they're going to be me playing games, but they're also going to be randomly me just doing other shit. I kind of want to have some fun. And for that, I'm thinking I need some kind of a system to have other people help me come up with those ideas. Maybe some kind of a submission system, some kind of an idea board. Valid. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing with Valid since DEF CON. I was there for the talk. I was hanging out with, TC and Dildog, and now we know Medus 4 because we learned that that's how she actually, says it, which is just absolutely crazy. And we were hanging out afterward. Death Veggie, all the works. They had their own little private party. Then they had the kind of headline party at the end of the week, and I'm on their Discord for it, where all the new releases. A new one just came out with a lot of fixes. Valid looks really interesting to me, and I think it's going to be. While they all love the Tor people, I think it's going to be something that replaces a lot of the usefulness that Tor has for me. For anyone who hasn't played with Valid yet or really looked into what it is a privacy framework that builds out a distributed onion-routed network. And in this network, it doesn't have one of the major problems that you get out of Tor, which is entrance and exit nodes that can be tracked. So when you look and you find, a million entrance and exit nodes sitting in Virginia or on an island where that data center actually belongs to the U.S. government, you can kind of get a feel for what's really going on with the amount of tracking they're doing of all of those systems. And with those entrance and exit nodes, they have the ability to pin traffic from one side to the other and build reports that under high enough traffic conditions, they can figure out that this one user on this end is this user on the other end. With Valid, it does not have entrances and exit nodes, and it relies on a distributed hash table for not only building out its connections, bootstrapping its new clients, but also for message exchange between clients that have paired up and already, shared their keys and done the Diffie-Hellman negotiation and all that other fun stuff. It's really built out in a really interesting way for the reason that its encryption is versioned and hot pluggable in a way that doesn't take down the whole network. So if there is a problem with encryption, if they do discover an issue that they need to solve and re-roll all their root keys and put out new, actual steps of encryption and maybe replace Blake 3 with Blake 4, who knows, whatever, right? All of these things in their encryption stack, they can switch from the now in use VLD 0 to the VLD 1. And the network can gracefully, over time, move up to it while still defaulting back to VLD 0 until every node is over. And that is a thing that a lot of other secure networks don't have. They don't have the ability to support graceful upgrading of the encryption like that. So that's another big key piece to this that really is awesome, I think. The first app built on it that is really just, an app and being built out kind of to show the power of it is called Valid Chat. Valid Chat is, you can think something, akin to a Signal, but with no identity, no phone numbers, no real ability to trace unless you give up the wrong information. And that's really interesting. Yeah. So, exactly. The entire Tor network is traceable. Now, there are good reasons for Tor, and it is not going to become, antiquated and unusable. It is not like Tor has to go away for this. Just a lot of the uses I would have for it will be replaced by this, And I just think that's a good thing. I think, getting our security better all the time is important. Valid Chat itself, the code to it has been dropped. It's on their GitLab now. If you go to the Valid Discord, you can go to valid.com to find all of this. You can join in. They already have a ton of people contributing. A lot of really good, talented people have put in bug fixes, updates. Changelog is full of all of this stuff. It's really great. And I can see a lot of use cases for it too, Right now, if you want to send data across it, you're generating a set of keys with someone else on the network. And then once you've done that, you have a spot on the DHT between the two of you. And the way the distributed hash table works is you can put about a meg of data on it. Between you and the other person, in your key that you're looking up on the DHT, you're saying my key between me and this guy is, X2, whatever. It's a longer hashed key, but you're looking at it and that that's your key. So your software is looking at this one key and looking at the value of the message, right? And you send one, and then their end sees it and takes it. Then they send one, and it replaces it with theirs, and you back and forth just kind of keep checking this message. But each one of these messages can have subkeys. So you can have up to 32 subkeys, I believe is the number, when I was reviewing the Rust code and looking through it and then talking with TC a little. And Dildog there, they have the subkeys still maxed out at 1 meg total. So even if you have those, then they're broken down pieces of that meg that you can put between each other. That limits some of the code that can be used, of course, and some of the things you can do with it for the moment. So they are also thinking about, in terms of longer chat sessions, chat systems that involve sending bigger files between them, certain anonymous file sharing systems that are going to be needed. Think of maybe some kind of an interesting new build that replaces, for some people, secure drop. You're going to need some kind of a block storage that's available on the network. And you're going to need some kind of a way to make it where it's not abused. So at DEF CON afterward, when we were all sitting around at the bar, we talked a lot about what that block storage would look like, who would need it, how you would earn it. And one of the big pieces is using the block storage on Valid would possibly require you to also give storage to the network. So if you gave 3 gigs to the network, you could use 3 gigs on the network. You know, that's sort of a setup. I'm sure it's not exactly that, but like that was the initial early discussions on how you're going to keep people from, violating things. The next part of the discussions are around the data on the we'll call it, Valid block storage, right? Could you be liable for anything illegal being on your part of the network? And the first thing that was discussed there was the idea that no one thing, be it legal, illegal, or whatever, would be known and complete in any one of the block storage locations. So everything that's uploaded would be broken down into pieces, and then those pieces would be individually encrypted and put on other block storage locations so that you wouldn't, on your one block store, have any fully illegal thing or anything that could be pieced back together to be that illegal thing if that was put on the network. There would be timeouts. There would be systems in place to allow for ephemeral storage where certain applications could put it up and say this only has to last for this long, and it's on the network itself to enforce that. The nodes, not being, adversarial nodes, so they don't just hold on to data. There's just a lot of thought around how the block store works, what data goes there. Then this discussion went to how to deal with law enforcement. There will be nodes here. Most of the people involved in the project early are all Americans living in America. So how do you deal with law enforcement? How do you deal with subpoenas, warrants? And the basic answer is there's no way to track the data in the way that they want through this network, simply by its base programming, by the way the network works. You're not going to be able to have the FBI show up and say, I want to track this person. What did they do here? You're going to have to say, we can't. That data doesn't exist. No one has it. They're not even logging we could really implement that would help with that. So instead, what Metasfor and Dildog kind of talked about, and it was a big crowd. I mean, there were like 20 of us there kind of paying attention to this, was the idea that they would prep a primer document. Imagine a PDF that's for law enforcement around the world. Give it to Interpol, whatever. That would just explain the network. So when they go to investigate anything and this network happens to play a part in their investigation, they will know what words to use. They will know how to describe the thing they're looking for. They will know what a node is and isn't. So they'll have the language to have the conversations, even if the network itself won't be giving up any information. At least at that point, when you start ending up in front of judges and whatnot, the language could hopefully be better. You could argue that law enforcement should have understood a thing in that Valid were very open about it and created documents to help. Those documents would not in any way include, access to information. The cooperation would be only up into that document and no more, simply because there's no data for them to cooperate with. Everything is 100% open source. Anyone can run their own nodes. There are multiple language versions of this. There are bindings for everything. So people will be digging through this. If there were backdoors in it, they would find them. A lot of the claims around how the cryptography works means a lot of, really strong, really well-versed crypto enthusiasts and professionals, excuse me, are looking through it and making sure of that. And so I'm pretty happy with where Valid is. It's early days still. The Valid chat code just, I think, was released, a couple weeks ago? So it's very early versions of all of this. Valid itself has other really interesting things, though. Like, Tor and other systems require someone to actively put up a node. So they've got to decide, I want to run a node, and they can even change what kind of node it is, whether it's just one of the central routing nodes, entrance, exit, you can allow for certain things and all that, and you can set up limits. With Valid, no one has to choose to set up a node. You can. They do have just, the service you can set up on, a Linux, on a Windows, on a Mac. You can set that up, but every application that uses the network that bootstraps off of the DHT and joins has to also be a full implementation of a node. So you get the network effect. Let's say Valid Chat or some other, Signal-like replacement appears on the network and becomes popular. If it gets 1 million users, that's 1 million more nodes on the network that are part of the network and are taking part in the network. And there's an understood agreement by using any app that's going to be part of terms, EULA, whatever. However the app itself words it to their end users. But part of using Valid is that you are acting the same as everyone else on the network, that you are not adversarial, and that whatever resources you are using, you are also providing. And so that's why every app on the network becomes a node, which, again, just the network effect. Any one app or system using Valid becomes big and gets millions of users. Valid now is that large. So I really love that as kind of part of the way they designed it. I think that's a great piece to the puzzle. I mean, I haven't seen anything really that stands out as wrong. They've had a few things where they've had to go back and fix early implementations based on, users showing up with fixes for bugs they've found. And that's great because they are very open to that. They are not sitting here, running from the idea. I mean, I think I can answer more questions about it if people have it. Like I spent hours at DEF CON just hanging out with those guys, just talking about literally all of that and getting really deep into it. And I have decided that at some point in the near future, I am going to teach myself Rust as the next language I want to learn, because I do kind of want to play around with Valid a little more than just being a user. Being a user is fine, but like I think I have some ideas for things that might be cool to do with it. Let's compact this a little. Does any of that fit in there? Good, okay. Of course, they've got a Discord. Everyone should go check that out. They've got their own GitLab where all the stuff is hosted. God damn, there's so much freaking stuff in these. Yep. Yeah, PWAs are definitely going to be an interesting use case for this. There's just going to be a lot of interesting use cases for this. I really do hope people figure out, how to do a lot of the things that we used to use Tor for with this instead. Not that I don't, love what, the Tor people have done and how long it's worked and all that type of stuff. I just think, again, this is just more secure. It just is. Kind of think maybe I should go just hide some of this over here so I don't have so much on me. You know what I just realized? Thought the volume was down really low. All the volume's going in here. Oops. Where is the headphones? Right here. All right. Can I hear? Oh boy, that's a little loud. All right. Hey, I can hear myself too. It's a miracle. I mean, without the headphones on, I can hear myself too, right? Okay, look at that. Now I can actually hear all the game sounds. That sure helps when playing a game, you know? Yeah, so I I was talking to a bunch of activists about my next probable arrest and how it can't be, you know, until after what is it, November 27th, because that is my next court date for the current arrest that I'm waiting for them to drop everything for and just, you know, let me off. But we've got like multiple events coming up that are totally arrestable events that I should be getting arrested at that I don't think will be a smart move because of it. Because the judges are getting a little angry about us having 2 or 3 open cases at once, and they're starting to talk about holding us for 90 days. And that's just rude. At the last one, they actually hit us with not only disturbing the peace, but they hit us with failure to disperse a riot, and that was a fun new charge I hadn't had before. You know, but whatever. Oh, look at that! Is someone coming for me? I can like hear the bad guys now. He must be in a cave underneath. Whew. Yes. I like having farms that farm everything. So here we've made all these farms, but they need their bone meal source. And it really sucks that this thing just broke. And it broke in a way in which so many of the internal parts moved around that there was no just like repairing it. Like these pistons and whatnot were just pushing things around that I have no idea where they were supposed to be now. So it gets destroyed and rebuilt from scratch because that's easier. I mean, I did figure out what had happened. I put literally, I think, 2 blocks in places where pistons were supposed to not be able to move those blocks. And I put them there in a way in which pistons could totally move those blocks. And it started pushing everything around. Oh, are you guys back? Yay. How's it going, guys? You can keep hitting me. I've got strong armor with thorns. You have fun with that. I think some more fell down over here. You guys having fun just beating yourselves up? Our server is on hard mode, so it's not a bad idea. I mean, I understand people are probably going to have that question in their head and wonder if I'd be willing to talk about it. I don't want to go too deep into it. I personally think, was having a bad time with a lot of things that were going on. And that put him in some heightened states. He believed a lot of things said about a lot of people that I don't believe to be true. And that led to a lot of arguments. That led to a lot of infighting. And here we are on the other side. I still hope to one day have my friend back. Any of the things that he might believe I would have done, I didn't. But who knows? As I understand it, he's still just over there living in the boat house. I was talking to a couple other people who've talked to him recently, and I told them I wish him nothing but good luck, and I hope things go well for him. That's kind of where I think it was left. I haven't talked to him God. Maybe it's actually been almost a year and a half. Somewhere around there. These guys just want to kill me, don't they? Hey, buddies. Come on over here. Get trapped. Whew. To the what chat? Let's put some of this away. Oh, look. A bunch of guys who want to do me harm for some reason. Yeah, so at this point, I just have no idea where everything stands. Why do I need to put, something down there so that doesn't happen again? Because I'm just being dumb walking across that. Hey, buddies. It'd be nice if I didn't die. I hope so. I mean, I really do hope that at some point he comes back around. I did really consider him one of my best friends. But people are who people are. He either will or he won't. I'm not going to argue the point or anything like that. Let's make it easier to do this. Hey, buddy. I do. He was one of my best friends, and I miss him a lot. We used to talk all the time. And I haven't talked to him in a while. And I don't have many people I consider a friend at that level. I have a lot of acquaintances, but, like, things have just been really weird through all of this, where it's hard to make, like, actual friends, people who you think you can count on. I think I've made a few here, definitely, but it is hard. Hey, buddy. Come over here. And die. What time is it now? Oh yeah, I have a clock. Look at that. See, anywhere you see obsidian, something went wrong because I did not place that. So you can see, there's definitely a problem in some of these places that used to be lava. Okay, does that get rid of the rest of the lava? Oh, look, I'm in lava. I am wearing netherite, so, like, it does an okay job of, as you can see there. Let's not die, though. I don't want to have to come all the way back over here and get my shit. Any more of you bastards up there? I should maybe set down a bed, you know? That, like, helps with these things. I've started to make a few more of those types of friends, I think, here in the local activist community. You know, just doing more other stuff. Like, I've been doing a lot of environmental activism lately. And that's been really good, you know. As I've said many times, I've got kids and I would like them to have a planet when this is all said and done. So it's time to do some of that type of activism. And it turns out in those environments, there are a lot of really good people. Why is there still water somewhere? What? Yeah. I mean, it would have been nice not to, you know, lose various friends right as I got really sick and, you know, could have used a little more support, but all unrelated, of course. So it is what it is. Can you guys like hear all the mobs that are making noises and everything? I have no idea how well I got the game sound kind of balanced. Whatever. Okay. Thanks, buddy. Exactly what I was hoping would happen. I would get shot. Sure. There is definitely enough light under there that they shouldn't be appearing down there. Okay. What else do people want to talk about as I sit here doing this? I wonder what that noise was. There we go. We'll do much more of the fun news, current events, and all that type stuff when Mac is back. He is definitely the rock when it comes to that type of stuff. He is so good at getting it all prepared, getting us ready for it. You know, getting involved in local activism is not that hard. You can look up their events. You can look up what's, being done around you. For me, one of the groups that we found was, talked about in the news a lot, Extinction Rebellion. And their Boston chapter was doing a lot. So just went to their website and they had a forum. Would you like to come to an orientation? And I clicked on the orientation and got there. And one of them said, Gregg, we don't think you need orientation. Do you want to come help XR? And I thought, well, I would like orientation. Can I still have it? And so I took the orientation, and from there, I met a lot of other local activists who are specifically the environmental type of activists. And I mean, they do other stuff too, I'm sure, but that led to, 2 or 3 other activist groups. It led to a lot of events, being invited to a lot of events, ending up in Signal chats and Keybase chats where they're all organizing these things. It really just took getting in with one group before you start getting invited to others. And usually that's around like skill set or availability, right? Like they'll see, hey, this person has helped us with this one thing, like at every event, I'm in this other group and we need someone to do that. And they'll invite you over, So just kind of showing up, making yourself useful, helping out, having good ideas for operations to run for. That's kind of how you do it. Starting up your own is a little harder if you're not already, involved in that scene there. Because, you don't know anyone to invite. You're probably just throwing up like a Facebook group, hoping people show up. Like, there's a lot of work involved to really organize good events and get people to show up. Some of the events that we've done, especially with like XR stuff, have been planned out for months in advance. But really just going and joining up with people who are already doing it. And you'll find their events. Like for us, finding their events was pretty easy because they had... they did have them posted in multiple locations. They had them everywhere they could get the event posted because they wanted people to show up. And a lot of activists will do that. You'll find them on Facebook. You'll find them everywhere. And maybe, we have all the problems that we have with Facebook, but in the end, Facebook events does drive a lot of people to your event. But also pick something you're absolutely passionate about. Don't just show up to show up and then like not do anything because it wasn't actually the type of event you should have shown up for. You've got to make sure it's a thing that you want to be doing. Find a passion. For me, again, I've got that whole thing. I've got kids. There should be a planet left. Let's see what we can do to help. And that's kind of what led me to thinking that this would be where I should be. No, it can't possibly be that. No, it's probably... Is it this that breaks them instantly? Yeah, there you go. Is all of my stuff falling in there? Probably. I can't see. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My HD60 is having trouble. It is, I am ending up with a black screen here while you guys aren't getting one, so I know it's the HD that is causing the problem. Where is that coming from? Do I encounter martyrs? Like, I would have to ask in what way? Where is all of this coming from, dude? Like, these all look like water sources here. This is so weird. Okay, well, whatever. There went some of it. Oh, yeah, you run into lots of preachy people in activism. You just got to learn to deal with them. Some of them are older. You also run into all kinds of other interesting things, like as the times change, certain people feel that certain things are, how to put this? I was in a call with a group called No Coal, No Gas, an environmental group that wants to work on those problems. And they invited older activists who have been doing this for a long time, back since when everyone was fighting the fight against nuclear. And a lot of the younger kids don't actually have the problem with nuclear that these older people do, and in fact think we might have to use it to get over some of this hump. So all the older people were all regaling us with stories of how they stopped nuclear, and all the younger kids were like, damn, that sure set us back. And that was quite the conversation to be a part of. But there's also a lot to learn. Like, the one thing that you've got to do going into any activism locally, especially, is be open to learning. With the environmental stuff, I really didn't know what I was talking about. Like, there's a lot there that just I did not know. And so I was very open to the idea that I was walking into rooms where everyone was way more knowledgeable than me. And a lot of the people in these fights actually work for like companies that do environmental stuff, or are in some way in the sectors, And so you can learn a lot just by paying attention, by asking questions. Act exactly as dumb as you are. Ignorance is not a problem unless you're trying to fix it. So I just went up to everyone who I thought had knowledge I didn't have and, asked for their help. And in those spaces, everyone wants to give it. Everyone wants more, because the people who are still around are the ones who didn't suffer the burnout that ended their activism career, right? And so they know how hard it is to get new people. They know how hard it is to get people with the time to be able to devote to it. There is a bit of privilege to that, And so most of those environments are full of people who are very welcoming. Whether they would be in their normal life or not, who knows? I'm not, placing judgment on who they are as a person based on that. I'm just saying in those environments, they are, very inviting and very open to new people, because they have to be. Which makes them really fun environments. And they're also the types of environments that really respect time. A lot of the new activism that I'm doing with people involves debriefs afterward that then turn into, a few days later, an event at one of their houses or at one of the centers that we have access to, where we all go and we just kind of decompress and we talk about other stuff, and we have dinner together, order pizzas and all that, and call it regenerative time. And it's really helpful having that regenerative time. It really gets you ready for the next thing you're going to go do. The biggest thing about being in local activism is not burning out. There are so many things that could be worked on, and you can't work on all of them. So do not make it harder on yourself than it has to be. Hey, buddy. That was cool. I'm facing the other way here, doing other things. You go and do that. blow up all my boxes. Just rude. Does that mean that box had stuff in it and now it doesn't? Huh. I guess well done, that guy. I'm going to have enough of all these materials that I don't, like, really care. I'm more just clearing it out of the way so I can build the other one. Definitely. You know, and you that's where you make the friends. You sometimes don't make them on the front lines while you're in the middle of stuff, you know. Getting arrested, telling cops, okay, if it's time to arrest, but I ain't leaving. You know, heightened environments like that. Let's tear this apart. Why not? The clock needs to go. Whew. I'm down here. I'll run over. Huh. Don't need any of this on me, but I do want to not have to run around this stupid hole anymore. Whew. Yeah, the recuperating part is very important. Without it, everyone burns out. Like, you can think you're strong, you can, you know, think whatever about yourself personally, but in the end, we all burn out. It is how it works. Oh, hey. Cool. Just falling down when I'm trying to build a bridge. I've been playing the game for over an hour. Anything else happen in the news? Anything else we should be talking about? What is going on in the world? Definitely thinking about my screen setups here and how I want to handle keeping, you know, all of like my show notes and all that, the stuff we're going to talk about once we get this back to the normal types of streams and all that type stuff. The lighting is okay, right? You know, the last couple, I went back and watched the VODs before I uploaded them to YouTube, and I felt like the lighting was just a little too bright. Oh, look, it's all of these guys again. Yay. Hey, buddy. Note blocks. Could you guys stop? How many of you are there? Really? What's up, buddy? Whew. You will see me sitting here like slack-jawed, like a whole lot, just because breathing through my nose is literally not a possibility. Not a thing. Buddies. Oh, look, he died. I should probably work on the lighting around here, huh? Just so, you know, these guys all stop. Hey, look at you with all your armor. You know, I've got armor on too. I'm gonna come over here. Hello. That was close. That was a little too close. And I have just remembered that I did something horribly wrong here. You know what I've done horribly wrong here? I have not pulled out another totem when mine went kaboom. Oh, look at that. Gotta have the totem so I survive these stupid things. Stop picking up my stuff, yo. Let's just place a bunch of these down. These fuckers stop. You know what? Okay, everyone. What else are we talking about? Anything fun? Yeah, that one was needed, but whatever. Maybe that will help some with all these stupid mobs. Of course, that's when it decides to do it. I'll have to figure out what that is. Okay, I can't pick up any of the note blocks. Let's go fix that. Recommend to beginners who haven't played Minecraft yet. It's a hell of a lot of fun. If you actually have the time to play around a little, you should. As for recommend, watch a couple YouTube tutorials. I mean, it's not, it isn't a complicated thing. It's not something where we need to talk a whole lot about all the intricacies. I would say kind of pick a style. You know, there's a lot of different ways to play the game. So, sup, Jeff? For people who do not know and haven't seen Jeff around before, Jeff is an old IRL friend of mine for a very long time. And we are working on some random projects together when we get the time. Both of us have had all kinds of health-related stuff getting in the damn way for the last few weeks. Hopefully we are going to get on the other side of that stuff soon. But yeah. I enjoy it. I mean, this part kind of sucks because it's all my fault that I have to tear this down because I totally made a mistake. Hey, Ricardo. You all missed out on all the fun stuff where I, talked about all the cancelable things. Wee. You can go back, you can watch the VOD and hear me talk all about Israel, Palestine, religion. All the things you probably shouldn't be talking about today if you don't want to get canceled, How come nothing is killing me? Well, one, it's daytime, and two, I've lit up the area so mobs can't spawn within a certain radius of light sources. And so I've placed down light as many places as I can. When it gets to nighttime, more mobs will start to come and attack the hell out of me because they're jerks. Whew. I have so much more to destroy here. For the new people, I am destroying this thing because I built it slightly wrong, and as you can see with all these pistons that push things around, it ate itself and started making nothing but a mess instead of anything right. So it ate itself in a way which just made it easier to go and destroy the thing instead of trying to rebuild it. Okay, what the hell, guys? This was a bone meal machine that would make bone meal that could automatically feed into all of the farms that auto farm flowers. And it was working for about 5 minutes. And as you can see by the scale of the build, it working for 5 minutes was not what I was hoping for. But whatever. I have other sources of bone meal. I just wanted one here that was like local and automated, Yay! And I have all these sticky pistons because, of course, I have a slime farm that does a good job of giving me enough slime to do this crap because I absolutely hate fighting slimes. The slime / magma mechanic is the one I hate the most in the entire game. That shit sucks. Oh, right. Are you subscribed, Jeff? You should totally subscribe. See, look at me. I'm doing the thing. I'm asking for subs. I think that's the first time I've asked for subs since I came back, huh? I get most of my subs on the nighttime ones when we cover all the current events, talk about news. I've got more people on, all that type stuff. And I totally get it, and I'm okay with that. Right now, I'm still just kind of getting used to doing this again. It is definitely a thing. Trying to keep talking the whole time, seeing chat over there, responding to them. There's a lot to get done. Hey, it's got the level thing. Those are working. Nice. Earlier, I had told chat that one of the things I think I want to do is get some kind of an idea board up that people can put out ideas for streams that I should be doing and things I should be doing on stream and all of that to kind of help me get the initial streams started going here. Right now, I'm just playing this so I had something to do while we talked about all the other issues. Because, yeah. It was nice having something else to be doing while we were talking about that heavy stuff, I have been thinking that it might be an idea to get Stanley Cohen back on the show. That would definitely be an interesting conversation right now, being that, he has represented Hamas in U.S. court before and, works a lot for the Palestinian freedom and giving his time and all that type stuff. So it would be interesting to get his take on this as a lawyer, as a Jew, and as someone who has supported all of this. Like, you put all that together and, like, yeah. I do, however, fear the conversation going in a way in which some people aren't happy and then getting yelled at. Like, ugh. I don't know what the owned thing is. Are they the ones that make like all of the stream setups, like the skins or something? Ah, come on, Georgette. Why'd you go and die? There's a little village over here, and sometimes these people are just stupid, and they do dumb things, and they die. And because I'm in the area, it's loaded, so they're always running around. I might be able to use something like that. I don't know. I'll have to look and see what it does. Whew. Still waiting for people to contact me so I can go do all of the afternoon stuff that I need to get done. So we can just kind of stay here until I do get that contact, I think. Or until like 3 o'clock rolls around, because I do actually have to get to the bank because there was a fraudulent charge on my card and my bank has canceled my card and I have to replace it now, and I hate that. It is the worst. But some bastard tried to steal, and so I have to get a new card. I call it stealing and fraud. It was an old service that I was paying for that I canceled a year ago, and that I even went through support because their system didn't look like it had canceled, and they swore that they had gone in and canceled it. And then a year goes by and it tries to charge me again. And I reach out to them and I explain this, and they're like, no, it's canceled. And I, show support the thing, and they're like, well, we don't know. And I said, could you please make sure you actually cancel my account this time? To which they said, but you're subscribed to this level. Don't you want to keep it? So I just went to the bank and said, nope, they are not playing ball here. That is fraud. Oh. Whew. Okay, so that is no longer a helpful thing, is it? No, I can still get there. Okay, time to clear off all of this. Oh, hey, look at that. Fallen, like I'm a smart guy here. Okay, yeah. I think there's still a lot to figure out with the streaming again here. I still don't feel like I've got it all the way back where it was. Plus this, right now you guys are seeing me on stream and I'm seeing blackness. Okay, there, it's back. So there is something, I think maybe it's the cable, I don't know. I'll play with that off stream when we're done. It only happens every now and then. Like it did just now, right as these people are appearing. So here come the bad guys. There's people attacking me like you wanted, Jeff. See? There you go. Yeah, this is a 2 PC setup. So The iMac next to me, behind me back here, is what's doing the stream, and then I'm on my PC. Okay, where are these bastards? There they are. Now, you can turn these bastards off, these phantoms, but you need the phantom membrane for potions and whatnot, so turning them off sucks. Just as much as they suck. And the fact that Mojang thought, hey, this new update that's coming out, we should totally make them even worse, yeah, that's just rude. So much destruction to do here. Whew. Okay. La-di-da-di-da. I was surprised this weekend for Saturday Night Live. I don't know if anyone else watched the cold open that Pete Davidson did, but I was definitely wondering how they were going to handle that, and I think he handled it the best that they could have handled it. I think he did an amazing job. Yeah, this is my own server. A couple of the other people here are in it. Vasera, Budo, Amanda Panda. Our kids have accounts on it. You bastards need to stop doing that. This way I can have all the settings I want, and I can control who has access and stop griefing and all that fun stuff. It's whitelisted, so you have to be whitelisted to get on it. And know the port and all that. You know, you guys gonna die from that soon? It'd be nice. It'd be really nice. Come here, bastards. It is so loud, they're screeching. That was one of them dying. I am the admin, yes. Why did that not hit him until the third time when I didn't move? Eh, whatever. And here we go again. Black screen. Yay. So yeah, whenever you guys see me just like standing there paused for some reason, that's that black screen thing. So I got to figure out why the HDX is doing that, because obviously the computer's still sending out the signal, so it's not the computer, because you guys can still see it on stream. I can see it over on the little copy of the stream I have there, so I know it's working. That's just another one of the bugs that all these early streams are meant to help get rid of. I will note, for anyone wondering if I've suddenly just become a Minecraft streamer, no. This is just something to do so we can be streaming. Otherwise, I would have actually put this in the Minecraft category instead of the just talking category. But then I wonder, what's the point of putting it in the Minecraft category? That thing is saturated as hell. No real point. Not going to see any stream growth in there. All right, everybody. There's still okay, still people here. Even though I'm just kind of like playing the game. Any other current topics, current events, things people actually want to hear about? I've been spending way too much time following all like the big streamers just to kind of get a feel for setups, for what they're doing, the things they're doing to keep streams going longer, what they're doing to build, you know, the sub base and all of that. And so like I'm currently way too enthralled by a lot of streamer drama. And so there's just so much streamer drama that I could talk about, but I highly doubt that is the type of stuff we want to be talking about. Yay, look at this. We're almost halfway. Maybe, you know, maybe I'm just lying to myself, but like, I would like to be halfway. That would be really cool. If I could get half of it done this stream, that would be awesome. So you all know that I have to do, you know, workouts every morning, and you know that I'm going to be adding some midday stuff too, just because it's part of getting back my health and all that stuff. Plus, what the doctors just told me, that I've got to lose another 30 pounds or so. To get up in the morning and actually work out is tough for me. Like, it's just not part of my routine, and I am not a morning person. So I use what's called a pre-workout. And it's kind of like an energy drink, but it's a little different. And the one that I like is called Orange Burst by C4, or C4 Orange Burst by Cellucor or whatever. But it's the C4 Orange Burst, right? And they have many other flavors. And I went through all of their flavors. I went through about 20 other brands. I really tried to find a few that I would like. In the end, my picky ass only found the one. I literally hate every other one ever made. They are all disgusting. And when I say disgusting, I mean wow, disgusting. Like, I could not think of a time when I would be able to actually drink those. And so, of course, you know, with my luck being what it is, Cellucor, C4, whatever, they have decided to cancel one and one flavor only and stop making it. And it is, of course, the Orange Burst one. The only flavor of pre-workout that I found in an entire year of trying to find one that I actually like. So I went on the hunt yesterday to see if anyone had any more in stock, and it turns out there's a lot of people like me. And so all the places that had it in stock have been selling out because everyone's calling to buy it all up. And so finding any is becoming very hard. I found a shop that had some left yesterday, and they are charging quite the fee for them. And they had 12 left, and I got 2 because that's all I could afford. 2 should last me about 2.5 months, maybe 2, if I'm lucky. There was none on eBay. Like, if anyone was smart, they would have like bought it up the second this happened and gone to eBay. They'd be selling these things at 10x, and people would be buying them. So right now, I'm waiting on word back from one other online shop that might have some to tell me that they have some and that it's not like, you know, going to expire next month, because I need to buy some that will last me. And that's all I could find. 2 shops. One, I bought everything they had, which was 2 of them, and all I could afford. And the other, who don't know if they actually have any physical in stock. Because I was very clear. Like, if you say you sell it, but you really just drop ship from the company, they aren't shipping anymore. That's over. So you better actually have the physical stuff in, you know. And so yeah, so just, I've lost the one pre-workout I like. I think I have enough to last me another couple months. And then I'm going to have to go on that journey of trying to figure out what I'm going to do to replace it, which, with just how bad everything is for taste and everything else with me, like, this is not going to be an easy thing. Damn it. Yeah. And I've had this happen before, which is why I try hard to find, like, you know, multiple of a thing. Because this is what happens to me. I am so picky, I end up with only one or two of a thing that I like, and then I'm screwed. So that I'm going to have to go through. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen with the protein powder, because I went through, like, my post-workout mix. I went through, I think, 30 of them before I found one that, like, I could eat. That stuff is so disgusting. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop there with that. The rest of it can keep running. The pre-workout? It's really light on calories. It's only 5 calories per serving. And it gives me a big boost of energy about half an hour after taking it. Like, I'll be sitting here, I'll be eating my cereal, I'll be drinking that as my drink, and then I'll be reading, like, you know, my morning news and stuff like that I like to read. And within about half an hour of finishing that drink, suddenly I feel this rush and, like, I want to stand up. And that's when I go do my workout. And it gives me the energy to get through it without, like, any complaints or anything else, you know? The post-workout is just about, you know, protein, because I just did a bunch of stuff that is going to require protein to rebuild the muscles without me being super sore the next day. Ugh. So it kind of sucks, because the only thing I like in that whole space is gone. Caffeine doesn't do that for me much anymore. I think I've just, you know, done way too much caffeine. Caffeine lately has been actually helping me fall asleep. Like, I don't know how better to describe that. So a lot of this stuff is mostly based on things like taurine and stuff like that. Like, you know, caffeine alternatives. None that I found. Just is what it is, you know. Such a first world problem. Ugh. Stop it. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. but it does get me down to the bottom. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. Yes, yes. And I'm feeling that. Oh, wow. 2 hours into the stream already. I was not expecting to be live this long. Although that's because I was expecting people to reach out, tell me it's time to go do a thing. And they have not yet. So there we are. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. That is. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm waiting to hear back on the doctor for the going and getting my ADHD stuff checked out. I mean, everyone keeps telling me it's pretty obvious. But we'll wait for the doctor to say it and then tell me what I should be trying. Okay, yeah. What is going on over there? Oh, okay. The Twitch screen just, like, decided that it was time to flicker a whole lot. All right, what is up over here? Huh. We already talked about all the hot button issues. Weirdly while playing Minecraft. I still do not have the nice camera. I mean, this camera's okay, but it's my iPhone. Still waiting on that to be able to get here. Good old Antarctica trip there. And you do have a bunch of other uses for it too, so I'm hoping that that happens soon. Anyone have any opinions on how we might do the stream ideas thing that I was talking about? Like the idea that maybe I have some kind of a board up where people could give ideas, vote on ideas, all that. Maybe we could do something where to drive like follower or sub growth or something, they've got to be subbed or something, you know, something like maybe the Twitch API allows for that. I wouldn't think there's software for that already. Like that doesn't sound like a thing anyone's open sourced. But maybe we could go look for it and it's there. Who knows? I think it'd be interesting to kind of start out that way, get things going that way. Maybe in the end it's something for mods to play around with and, you know, they can help with that part of it. And normal chat just trolls on it. Who knows? But I think it should help. I think it should help us getting kind of a rhythm and getting things going that we all like. I do want to start going live from a lot of the protest event stuff that I do. I will be at another relatively large, probably 60 or 70 person thing at the end of the month. And that's literally all I can say about it. I do assume some people at that event will be getting arrested. I'm not going to be one of them unless the cops are real assholes that time. Because I'm going to be working to try and avoid it because I am currently already awaiting court hearings for the other arrests that I have. And they just don't seem to like that here. It is interesting, though. Someone asked about like getting into local activism, and there's a lot you can do that also feels really good to do. Like here, one of the last events we just did was at the airport at Logan, and they're expanding a bunch of stuff there, and the electrical needs that they have, and anything that really impacts environment that they have going on, they keep putting in East Boston, Chelsea, and that whole region. They keep putting it into a region specifically containing lower income people, immigrant families, people who would have a lot of trouble fighting this because they can't fight in court, because they can't afford, you know, the time, they can't afford to miss work, whatever. Or let's say you are an immigrant family and while you have, you know, your citizenship or your visa or whatever, maybe a family member doesn't, and they've come across. And you can't have ICE show up at your door just because the cops are trying to be rude and get you to stop because they work for, you know, the bad guys. So in those instances, white guys from the suburbs like me get to go to the front line and get to do the things that are arrestable, to get the media coverage, to get the word out, because I can afford the arrest. Not cash-wise, does kind of suck, but like I can afford to have it on my record. My record's already long. I don't care. And so kind of, you know, putting yourself in the way there is a really useful thing to do for those types of communities. So I do a lot of that. Most of my arrests end up being because, you know, I'm in support of some kind of a community that can't do it themselves for various reasons. And once you've got like, you know, 50 damn arrests on your record, it doesn't really matter if you add 1 to 10 more. It just doesn't. if you guys see me looking that way instead of this way, you're over here. Chat's over here. Twitch stats are over here. All that's over here. Over there is my text messages and information from my phone, because I am still waiting for people to contact me about doing stuff that specifically will help pay my damn bills. And I've got a lot of bills that are way behind. And I need money, and this is me going to get some. So it'd be nice if I heard from them soon. So as soon as I do hear from those people, I will be, of course, stopping. I mean, it's not like I'm doing anything important here on the Minecraft server that I can't stop, just leaving the already broken machine more broken. Knowing that, if chat has anything they do want to talk about, we can definitely get that going here before I run. For all I know, I don't even get the message today, and it's tomorrow, and then I'm annoyed. I should have put a beacon up. That would have made this go a lot faster. I am so smart. SMRT. You can hear how bad my nose is and the congestion because of what's going on there. Sounds like some bastard's angry somewhere. My road, the Roadcaster Pro 2 here is broken? Faulty? I don't know. As you can hear, it works. I'm not saying it does not function, but its screen, it's got this little LCD screen on it that is nice, but it flickers a lot, like in ways that are obviously broken. And I reached out to support to say, hey, so I got a broken device, what do? And you know, it's a $700 device that a chatter was nice enough to get me. And it I was told that their support is unplug it and send it to us and we'll test it, and if we think it's broken, then we'll send you another one. And that means that I send it away and I don't have one for as long as they take to ship it there, get it tested, possibly ship me a new one if they're not jerks. So like what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks without it? Like that does not work. Like when I do a hard drive one, they send you the drive and the box to send the dead drive back in, you know? And so I complained about this, and they said, well, you can buy another one, and then we'll refund it if that one's dead. And I said, I don't have $700. And they said, well, then you're out of luck. That's pretty much where that stands. So that's cool. And again, it's not unusable. It's just like annoying as hell. Just one thing after another getting in the way. But if things go as planned, sometime next week, because I'll just keep using it if it's like it is, It's not horrible. It's just flickering in ways that are very annoying and it's not supposed to do. If all goes to plan, sometime next week, Mac will be ready and we'll start working on getting back to the normal old streams and doing our research during the days and getting all the latest stuff covered and talked about and maybe finding some guests here and there. All the stuff we used to do. And that'll start probably sometime next week. It'll take me finding the money like that I might find now if I get contact from people to finish off the camera and cabling for the other side of the room, which would be nice because it also will mean that at the standing desk with the treadmill, I will have the ability to stream if I feel like it from over there while I'm in the middle of just walking and, you know, we can do a little walk and talk kind of a thing. Maybe? Show me the hitbox, you bastard. There we go. Whew. So we are just tearing down the bone meal machine. Yay, teardowns. Some of these builds are like week-long builds. This sorter was a like 3-week build. That thing is complicated. And getting rails to face the way you want them to, not easy. They did not make that part easy. Okay. Now the news is saying that thousands of Palestinians are waiting at the border with Egypt, the closed border. That is closed by treaty with Israel. I wish humans weren't like they are, but they are. So this is just going to keep happening. I don't think we're ever getting that utopia where this type stuff doesn't happen every year somewhere in the world. If anyone's got a proposal for that, let me know. I'll get that right to the White House. I'm sure they'll totally let me in. What crazy sounds. Wish I could breathe through my nose so I could close my mouth. That would be awesome. Maybe one day. I don't know. Sup, pig? Okay. How's everyone in chat's days going? Is anyone still around? Anyone still hanging out? Did I lose y'all? And I do think the first stream back with Mac will be the first time I use like all of my socials to properly, like, you know, try and push the show again and all that. Do, do, do. Okay, let's go get more of this. Ooh. I am forgetting to hydrate. I think that's why we used to have a channel point thing that was all about hydrating, because I sit here for hours and forget. We... All right. Oh, it's our friends. They're back. Oh, thanks, buddy. That's what I always wanted. Oh, hey. I'm just hanging out. Yeah, I mean, talking a lot when I can't breathe through my nose and I'm only breathing through my mouth is definitely causing a lot of dry out there. Hopefully, all these doctors, they figure things out, and you know, I get back to being much more my old self. I have some faith. All right. Let's see here. Okay. You have fun with that back there. Keep making all the noises you want. You know what? That was just rude. Let's fight over here. Come on, you bastards. You guys are way over there. Okay, well, you have fun over there then. Okay, what is next on the agenda here? Just getting knocked off by these guys. You know what? Could you come over here and fight too? That would be just great. Oh. Huh. Strange. You know, I swear I hit him. Come back here, you bastard. Okay, and you know what? Let's just do it. Let's make them go away. When you sleep, it resets them, and then the next time, only one should appear. Okay, here we go, continuing the fun. These little bars get annoying. Okay, chat. I don't know that there's much more to talk about. I am thinking I'm going to try and reach back out to people who have, you know, just left me hanging here. Also eat some lunch because I just realized it's like 3 and I haven't eaten anything. That seems like something I should deal with. I don't know, maybe. My goal is to do, I don't know, maybe one more like this week. Maybe 2. Just kind of depends on how each day is going. And then to start up next week with me and Mac doing the fun ones. And figuring all of that out. I want to spend some time this week trying to figure out, you know, what it might look like to have an idea board that, you know, we can all see that helps develop out the show. I think I should definitely do what I want, but I also like the idea of having some participation, you know? So what's that? It's like 2 hours 40. I think that's enough time, guys. And gals. Oh, none here. Okay, well, sure, why not? That one broke and that one didn't. Oh, hey, that's another wasted fire rocket. Just what I wanted. Okay, none down here. Good. Go fill up more of the boxes. All right. Let's get back up here. And all right, chat. We're going to take a little pause here. What are we looking at? It's about 3:30. It's about time for me to try and figure out what I'm doing if that other stuff doesn't come through today. Yeah, I think it's just Monday, and I might be able to go live. I think Wednesday will be the next one. Tomorrow we have, the thing that we do at our house every Tuesday where people come over and do dinner and all that type stuff. Oh, today's the 16th. Well then, that means tomorrow's my birthday. Okay. I always forget that stuff. Whatever. Yeah, so there you go. Tomorrow's my birthday. Yeah, I'll be streaming again on Wednesday, and then early next week, barring any weird things happening, me and Mac will have one of the old school normal shows back and trying to do it like we did. I'm sure we'll have little bugs here and there, little issues come up as it's our first one back trying to do 2 people and all that, but hopefully people in chat here will be awesome and help out with that stuff and tell us when things are going wrong or when things don't look right or any of that type of stuff. So thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this. If you're watching on the VOD, I could do the thing, right? Like, subscribe, hit the bell, all those type things, And yeah, let's hit buttons and see if they do what they're supposed to do. Have a good day, everyone.